Hello and welcome back to the Football Chat. It is time for the Champions League. The Champions League is back and we're going to be doing our UCL Fantasy teams. Running through team selection, we're going to be giving out the league code, which we'll actually do at the start, so that people who are watching right at the start can get involved, rather than doing it halfway through and then nobody joining. So, let me just find the league code quickly, get everyone in, and then we'll run through some team selection. UCL Fantasy is a bit weird, isn't it?
It's a lot harder than the Premier League one.
Because not everyone plays the same teams, obviously.
Yeah, and
so I think you should get more variation.
Obviously, I think I speak for myself. I watch a lot more Premier League than I do. I haven't watched any Bundesliga this season. I've seen a bit of Serie A.
But also, there is more teams, more big teams. Yeah, exactly. I think that does create a bigger, a wider variation of teams.
You've got some groups like the PSG, Juventus, Inter group.
Yeah. No, PSG, Barca, Bayern, Inter in a group. Yeah.
Then you've got some teams that are playing Maccabi Haifa, and no offence to Maccabi Haifa, but I think I'd rather play them.
Yeah. Is that not the same group? No, I can't remember who Maccabi.
Pleasant. It's in the other.
Oh yeah, no, don't pick any of their players. That's a top tip. Tip number one: don't pick Victoria Pleasant players. Right, there's a league code. You can put it up on screen as well. So while I'm saying it, it's 52AWDE1N04.
Yeah, you have to send that to me.
They are so much longer than the
in the FPL one. It's like D3KK, but that is not the code.
52AWDE1N04. Should we get into our team selection then?
Yeah,
let's have a look.
I've spent a lot of money on forward players.
I was going to say, we'll start with the forwards. Should we start with the forwards or should we start from the back?
Start from the back.
With the less interesting picks and then get to your incredibly expensive front line. So yeah, keepers. Who are you backing this year in UCL to do well in the group stage at least?
I am backing Shakhtar Donetsk keeper Anatoly Trubin.
Yeah.
Very cheap option, 4.5. I think I can bring him in when I need to.
Who is Shakhtar in the group with?
Leipzig. Hang on, let's have a look. I don't actually know. Leipzig.
Isn't it Sporting or a Tottenham, aren't they?
Celtic and Rangers.
And Real Madrid. Oh, Real Madrid, isn't it? Yeah, not Rangers. There with Liverpool, Napoli, and
so Leipzig and Celtic are going to sneak clean sheets. But my other goalkeeper, who's doing my starting keeper for most of the group stage, is Gregor Kobel, the Borussia Dortmund goalkeeper.
Both very interesting picks.
I've gone very cheap though.
Kobel's got to play against Man City in Matchweek 2 and 4 and 5.
But that is the week that Trubin has Celtic. So I'll bring in Trubin for that Matchweek 2. And then Matchweek 3, Dortmund have got Sevilla, so I'll just have to take a risk there and hope Gregor Kobel can get clean sheet. Yeah,
in terms of keepers, I've gone pretty big from the start. I've gone Thibaut Courtois. I'll be honest, I'm thinking Real Madrid are probably going to go very, very deep in this competition, so he's someone I'm not going to have to transfer out. I know you do get pretty much unlimited transfers, don't you, between the group stage and the knockouts.
It's like the knockouts where sometimes you get I think it's 3 or 4 free transfers.
Yeah, you get loads
one of your whole
point.
Teams gets knocked out, you're finished.
Yeah, I mean, you can just absolutely rinse transfers though.
Yeah.
You do get a lot of transfers.
You get the limitless chip, you get the wild card chip.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
which, considering there's only 9 game weeks, the chips are kind of pointless. But I've also got Kevin Trapp, new to the Champions League this year. Frankfurt, of course, weren't in it last year, haven't been in it for a few years. I think they've got a good group. I think when you look at it, Sporting, Marseille, Tottenham, realistically, he's not going to be in the team every week unless Courtois concedes. And I am blessed with the fact that Courtois plays first on the first match week. So if he does have a howler, Trapp can go in there and I'd back him to keep a clean sheet against Sporting. But I don't think Real will concede against Celtic.
No, your Trapp pick actually brings me on to my defenders, and my first defender is Evan Ndicka. Similar reasons, very good defender. I think he's going to get a lot of those. You
do get a ball recoveries, isn't it? You get points for in this.
As a centre half, and a group of, as you said, Sporting, Marseille, Tottenham. I think Frankfurt could get a few points from there. He's also quite cheap.
I was looking at Frankfurt defenders, but I'm just not sure. If Philippe Kostic was still at Frankfurt, because he is in the game as a defender, 100% going on my team. But he's now at Juventus. Not too sure about Juventus' group. I think they've got obviously got to play PSG. Wow. I think they've got Benfica and Maccabi Haifa are easier games, but Benfica's still one you can slip up in.
You didn't take the risk on Juventus defenders. I did, and I've gone for one, Quadrado.
Interesting.
They've got
How much
PSG
is he?
first game. He is going to start. He is 5 million.
See, I looked at Alexandra at 4.5 because I thought that was an absolute steal. But then I realised he's not really been playing so far this year.
When Cuadrado,
Pick him up.
I am starting him against PSG. I've got a back four, so I'll run through my back four and then I benched one defender.
PSG, have you took any players?
No.
I was going to say, I've not either.
No.
I think the people at home might be furious, but I don't. Like Mbappe, I don't think he's anywhere near being the best forward this year to take. So, yeah, he'll get goals, but will he get as many as Benzema and Haaland? I don't think so. I think Benzema could probably go. He will be up there in Golden Boot. If Haaland does what he does in the Premier League, then no one else is going to be able to top him at Golden Boot. But yeah, other defenders, because you've only named two. Who else you got coming
starting
up?
back four for match week 1. So as I say, Ndika, Cuadrado, and the other two were easy choices for me. Mark Cucurella against Dynamo Zagreb and Danny Carvajal against Celtic.
I kind of forgot about Real Madrid after Courtois, and obviously I've got one more Real Madrid player. It's probably quite obvious who that is, but we'll get on to them.
And then just my bench defender is Rowan Gosens. He's benched because Inter have got Bayern.
Yeah, tough first game, of course. Into Bayern, we will be covering that on the Wednesday. PSG Juve on the Tuesday, Inter Bayern on the Wednesday. So join us, and both of them should be very good streams.
Just to mention, if anyone does not realise, make sure that to play all of your players that are playing on a Tuesday.
You can make subs.
Because then if they have bad game weeks, you can sub them out before the Wednesday night.
Great point. Love that. Right, my defenders then. I've doubled up on Chelsea here, and I know this is the same mistake I made in FPL, but I think the substitutions can bail me out if I need them. But they've got Dinamo Zagreb first week, so I'm confident that Reece James and Mark Cucurella, as a pairing, will bring in a lot of points.
I think Cucurella's an absolute steal.
At 5 mil, bargain. And even Reece James at 6 mil, 0.5 less than Trent and 0.5 less than Cancelo. I'm starting with a 3 because I've also got Josko Gvardiol. Invest in RB Leipzig, people. If you look at their games, yes, they've got Real Madrid, but Shakhtar and Celtic, easy wins. They could even get a result against Madrid. Invest in Leipzig. I've got 2 of their players. I've got Josko Gvardiol here. I think, as you say, with the ball recoveries, he'll get a lot of them. I think he could even get on the score sheet against Shakhtar. I think they will just take him to the cleaners. They're a decent side, Shakhtar, but they're not on the level of Leipzig. Then my 2 other defenders who are on my bench because they're playing in the second game is Trent Alexander-Arnold, who I think is just a decent pickup.
Yeah.
I probably won't need to sub him in. I imagine all of James Gvardiol and obviously then Cucurella will keep clean sheets, but you never know. And I've also got Reinildo, one of the highest point scorers last season at Atletico Madrid, a team that's very good defensively.
Yeah, it's a good pickup.
It's a group they should win every game. Yeah. Porto, Leverkusen, Bruges. I think they are games that they could trip up, but I'm backing them. I think they could do all right.
I actually might realize this might be a bad idea, but I haven't picked any Atletico Madrid players.
Yeah, he's the only one I've got, Reno. I did look at like João Felix, but I'm just not confident that the price is going to be worth the returns. Probably so, not. Steering clear at the moment, but if they do have a good first game, I also think Atleti don't score many goals. Yeah. So there's not much point going for Atleti attackers, but Reinildo should be a good pickup.
Into the midfielders then, I've got 3 starting midfielders and then two midfielders on my bench. That's because those 2 are playing on the Wednesday.
Interesting, you've got 4 defenders starting. Obviously, that's because the date, isn't it?
Yeah, the dates.
Fair enough. Because the formation doesn't really matter. Just play whoever is playing on the first day.
But so my 3 starting midfielders for the Tuesday are Sandro Tonali against Salzburg. I think he's a good pickup because he's going to get those ball recoveries.
The Chelsea AC Milan group as well. Pick up players from those 2 clubs. They should be able to get through quite comfortably. Any groups like that, just look at the long run. Yeah, like Inter and players from those clubs. I'm going to struggle in the first game, but look at the long-term benefit of having them in that side.
I think Tonali will recover balls, and he can also sometimes do something going forward.
Yeah.
But I've done my midfielders as a mix. I've got a few people that I know are going to get in those ball recoveries, and I've got a few people that are going to get those goals. One of those players is going to get those goals and assists, Marco Reus.
Yeah.
Again, that Dortmund group of Copenhagen.
Last year, do you not fear that's a slight concern?
No, I think a group of Copenhagen, Sevilla, City. Reus is going to get some goals. He's been forming the league.
It's a group they should be able to come second in. I don't think they're going to top it. Yeah. But Sevilla does offer a massive challenge.
I've got very good options off the bench, and to be honest, if these guys will play on the Tuesday, they'll be starting. My other starting midfielder is Luka Modric. Again, he's going to get. He's going to get goals and assists. He's going to get assists. He's going to recover balls, and a group again of Celtic, Leipzig, Shakhtar should be points.
And your bench?
2 bench midfielders, Ansu Fati. They've got Pleasant. He would be starting if he's on a Wednesday.
I looked at Barcelona and I looked at Ansu Fati in particular.
He looks in great form.
He is in good form, but I don't back him to do it against Bayern or Inter. I think he's going to struggle. I think Barca are going to struggle.
My midfielder, by the way, is Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Now, this is obviously going to be interesting.
I was going to say...
They've got Marseille, Sporting, Frankfurt.
How much is Juve Basuma?
I don't think he's going to... I've got Højbjerg, I don't know, but I've got Højbjerg in there for the ball recoveries, and we know we can get goals.
My only concern with Højbjerg is that he may rest him. Especially towards the end of the group, because I think they'll wrap that one up quickly, and then they are going to want to focus on both fronts this year, and we do know Tottenham have now got depth in that midfield area, so maybe Højbjerg will be rested. As for my midfielders, I've got Jude Bellingham. Same thing as you say with Marco Reus, but I think the advantage of Bellingham is not only is he going to get those goals on assists, he's also going to get recoveries. He does a lot, and I think, it's a very good pickup. Raheem Sterling, in fantastic form in the league. I know he didn't do much against West Ham, but equally the formation was strange from Chelsea and Tuchel, but playing against Dinamo Zagreb, might not start, but if he does play, he will get me points, I reckon. And if he doesn't, then I've got good options off the bench, which I'll get into soon. I've then got Christopher Nkunku. As I was saying, invest in RB Leipzig. Shakhtar on the first game. 60 points last season. 9 mil. I think he's an obvious pickup. Did so well last year in a tough group. I think he'll do very well this year in a much easier group. And then Julian Weigl plays Maccabi Haifa on the first game. He's also very cheap, so it makes a lot of sense to bring him in. And then my bench midfielder is Ansgar Nauf, playing against Sporting on the first game. As I said, Frankfurt with a nice run of fixtures. I think he's going to pick up some good points. And selected by 0%.
Yeah.
5.5 mil.
I'm just looking at the points, how you score points this year.
Yeah.
And but one thing for me is that I think what you can look at is players. So, for example, you get an extra point for players that score goal if someone scores a goal from outside the box. So if you've got someone like a Jude Bellingham,
Bellingham,
who's gonna
even Julian Weigl, maybe it's from the halfway line.
As a midfielder who gets 5 points for a goal, it's an extra one if he scores outside the box. I was thinking, who's going to get you man of the matches? Who's going to change your game? That's another 3 points. Players that win penalties, they get another 2 points. So, and it's every.
So those tricky wingers, Raheem Sterling, for example,
Ansu Fati.
Yeah, but what if that does it still count if the penalty doesn't get converted?
Yeah, so it's just winning a penalty is 2 points. You get 1 point for every 3 balls that are recovered. That's why that's a big thing.
So maybe pairing up Sterling and a Jorginho could be a highly effective strategy there then.
And then obviously goalkeepers, they get 1 point every 3 saves. So again, maybe some goalkeepers are going to make a lot of saves. 5 points for saving a penalty. I would like to point out, this is a bit random, but a goalkeeper gets the same amount of points for scoring a goal as a defender would.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just very rare, but equally, I would probably, if I was making the game, I'd give
exactly.
Same with FPL, I'd give goalkeeper goals
10 points though.
At least I'd probably go 20 for a laugh, and then when Alisson heads home against West Brom,
because of Liverpool bad,
exactly, anyway, someone's gonna be loving that.
So what are we looking for? You're looking for your midfielders that are gonna recover balls and that are gonna have long shots realistically.
Should we go into your very expensive front line then? I think we've discussed everything else.
But it's also full of firepower. We're going to start with the weakest, Dusan Vlahovic. Big gamble.
I was going to say, I think you've made a mistake there.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't think he's going to do well on the opening day against PSG, and I think he'll struggle against Benfica. Yes, he'll probably score against Maccabi Haifa, but I'm not convinced about him. I think my first pick, Youssoufa Moukoko, is better.
I think
4 mil cheaper.
I genuinely think that PSG Juventus is just going to be Vlahovic.
He might not even play Moukoko, but that's fine. He's just in there to give me funds to make my team better elsewhere, because I've got so many more expensive midfielders. Because you couldn't bring in Nkunku without having to have very, very cheap.
I think Royce, Charlie and Modric give me all the points I need.
Okay.
And then my other two strikers.
I've also got the same other two forwards,
the
I
obvious
believe. Yeah.
Erling Haaland and Karim Benzema. They are must-haves.
Yeah.
No matter what.
100%.
First thing you do, once you made your team, get in Haaland and Benzema. No questions. You cannot have these. You have to have these people in your team. If not, you will lose.
100%. And then the captain's armband is something we highly debate on the FPL show. As for UCL Fantasy, what are you thinking?
I've sent it to Benzema.
You've given Benzema the captain.
Celtic away.
I've done the same.
I've given him the captain's armband. That's be goals galore for him.
He's going to fun at Celtic Park.
Yeah.
I mean, if he doesn't score at least a hat-trick, I'll be absolutely gutted. I was thinking about Haaland against Sevilla, but I do think there's a slight chance, 1, he doesn't start, or 2, he doesn't score.
Yeah.
But I think Benzema against Celtic is a guaranteed goal. I was also thinking about a Sterling or an Nkunku as a bit of a differential captaincy. It could work, but I don't think I've got enough firepower in the second match day to be able to replace my captain. Because obviously you can change captains and you can make subs in between match week 1 and 2. Which is an interesting dynamic.
The transfer deadline is the 6th of September at quarter 6 in England.
Yeah.
So that is 2 hours and 15 minutes before the game's. No, it's not. What's the first kick? Was 6:30, isn't it?
No.
7:30.
6:45, I think.
That's when the deadline closes. When the game starts.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's always worked in.
So you have until until the first game kicks off.
It's annoying because I wanted to talk about it in the start of the stream, but we're not going live at 5 for an 8 o'clock kickoff. But yeah, I've got a few players playing those early kickoffs. Hopefully by the time we're live then at 7:15, I think we're going to go live on the Tuesday. Hopefully I'm buzzing after a Kukra, James and Sterling masterclass.
League.
Yeah, get involved. At the moment, it's just us two.
I was going to say.
Which is...
At the moment, we're going intense battle.
Well, obviously, in the FPL League, there's...
It just automatically puts you in, doesn't it? Where you have to ask to rejoin.
When I set this up the other day, I think it's because I did it late, but people requested to rejoin the league, but then when I set it up, they didn't automatically rejoin. So I think people do have to accept to rejoin.
Do you just want to run through the code again?
I'll go on then. For all of you that have stuck around to the end, you deserved the code. For some reason, you've not joined yet, which is gutting. But yes, it's 52. The number's 52. AWDE14. No, I've got it wrong there.
No, that is not the code.
It's 1N04. Right. 52 AWDE1N04.
That's the code.
04 at the end. God, it's such a long code. Why can't it just be simple? But yeah, there is also a link in the YouTube community. I've put up a post on there as well. And I think there's also the code and the post on Twitter. So check out all the socials. You'll find it somewhere if you can't manage to copy it down the 5 times I said it in this video. But yeah, and if I try to remember, I might put it in the description below. If not, badger me in the comments. I'll stick it down there. I think that's the right word. Badger, probably. Anyway, that is all for today. I want to know who you're picking up in your team. So get involved in the comments down below.
Haaland, Benzema, must-haves.
I think there's some opportunity differentials there. No. I'm also... Yeah, Mane's a player I'm looking at. I think I might have to bring him in if he performs first 2 weeks. He's looking decent at the moment. So maybe that's a player you pick. But I want to know your teams. Give all the comments down below. Also, make sure to join the league, as we've said. And I want to hear from you guys if you have joined the league. So tell us that as well. And where you're going to finish. Yeah. Because I'm confident at the moment I'm going to finish either first or second.
I mean, so, at the moment, guaranteed top 10.
Get involved and I might have to change my prediction to 3rd or 100th. So get involved. Basically that's it. Thank you all very much for watching and we'll see you next time.
See ya.